So this is an older, really well-built house. Even though these roof rafters are on 2-foot spacing, which is a lot, they have this lath under here, these 1x4 lath, and they're about every 4 inches, or probably about every 6 inches on center. So this is a very well-constructed house. So you have the lath, and then you have the roof decking over that. So right here, this is a roof rafter, and the rafter runs all the way to the way up high, to the ridge way up here, and then all the way down to the wall. And so about the midpoint of that rafter, we install what's known as a purlin. And this purlin is a brace, and it runs all the way along here. I don't know if you can see that purlin. And then connecting the purlin to the house, to that wall, is what's known as a purlin brace. So this brace, this purlin right here cuts the span of the rafters in half, and at the midpoint it braces down to the wall. And those are called purlin bracing. And you can see the framer works very hard to maintain a 90-degree angle right here. You can see the relationship of this board to this board tries to be as close to 90 degrees as possible. When it's nice and straight, that's when it's at its strongest. When it's leaning or canted, it loses strength. So when the framers frame the house, they work very hard to get that purlin bracing at a 90-degree angle to the roof rafter. You know, over the years, we've gotten these guys all kinds of fancy lifting equipment and machines, and they just prefer to do it by hand. I don't know what it is. I think that other stuff's just too slow. But the old manual labor, espalda, the back, is what the preferred method is. Now he's got it perfectly flush. And then the beam was in there a little bit like this. So he puts nails in it to put pressure on it, and then when he straightens it, it'll stay. If you just beat on it without nails in it, it'll just bounce around. Earlier when we were looking at what was to come, I showed you guys this pocket up here, and it didn't have a beam in it, and it didn't have any blocking below. So now the beam has been installed right here. And so you got a beam sitting on the double top plate. And then these are called cripples right here. So we have 3 cripples. We want to be the width of the beam supporting, and that translates down below. This is what we referenced before as a pony wall. It's a wall built on top of another wall. So here's a pony wall or cripple sitting on this other top plate. And then here's that existing header. And then all that weight translates down to this column, which takes the weight of the house down to the foundation. And so that's a pretty clean. And then right here, you can see we installed another block on the side, and that's gonna keep this beam from rolling. And because we don't want this beam, we want this beam to maintain vertical, because if it rolls, then it loses its ability to be supportive. It's like an unsupportive wife. These older houses are just littered with wires. Before wireless came along, there's kind of a wire for everything. So this is an old intercom system wire. This is the central vac control wire that closes the circuit. You can see here's old school coax, and that's a coaxial splitter. You get the main feed comes in and splits the coax out to 4 channels. So this is a 1x4 coax splitter. Old school stuff. and it's not necessary anymore in the days of Wi-Fi. We eliminate pretty much all of that stuff. And then here's just your standard high voltage. But when we take these out, in order to give your electrician the best chance on getting it back together and to save you money and keep him from having to chase all these wires down, we just leave all the wires in the boxes connected to the switches. And all this is live right now, but it's safe. You can touch it without any, ow, yeah, ah, just kidding. You can touch it safely without any problems, but it allows the electrician, if we just came in here and started cutting wires, one, your house is all dead, and then secondly, now the electrician has this big giant research project to figure out what goes to what. This way, if we have these switches here, you can see this light coming on over here as a result of me switching that. So anyway, that's one thing that we do that keeps the cost down, helps you to control it. Here's a speaker wire going somewhere for some small speakers, and here's another intercom type wire. So lots and lots of superfluous wires, and this homeowner knows that he's going to have to come in and clean up all that to put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Load bearing wall pros. We are the pros.